Okay guys, so at this point, let us now go into the details of the study of the cell. Now, the study of the cell is called cytology. Alright, cytology is that branch of biology that deals with the study of the cells. Okay, and let's try to answer this, how the concept of the cell was developed. So basically, we came to know about the cell because of the microscope. And like what I mentioned in my videos about the microscope was invented by Zacharias Janssen, not Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Let's now go into the details of who Anton van Leeuwenhoek was and his contributions to the development of the biological sciences. Now, Anton van Leeuwenhoek basically was a Dutch linen draper. So, pag sinabi nating linen draper, ito yung mga gumagawa ng mga kurtina, gumagawa sila ng mga tablecloth. So basically, nasa textile industry si Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Alright? And in the textile industry, one way of checking the quality of the textile or the linen is to observe yung mga fibers ng linen. And one way to observe the fibers is to use a magnifying glass. Alright, kaya lang yung mga magnifying glasses during his time, during the Renaissance period, was quite expensive. So, ang ginawa ni Anton van Leeuwenhoek, kasi he came from a poor family, hindi naman nila kayang bumili ng mga mamahaling na gamit na ganyan, like the magnifying glass. So, he made one for himself. Siyang gumawa mismo ng kanyang mga magnifying glasses. And that became his hobby. Alright, grinding lenses, biruin nyo. And yung mga lenses niya, they were so precise that his magnifying glasses were the best during his time. No? Napaka malakas, no? Malulupit yung mga magnifying glasses niya. So, he came up with this device. So, nilagyan niya ng magnifying glass dito sa metal frame. So, he placed it in a metal frame. Like so. Then meron siyang focusing knob. So this was his version of the microscope. Ang microscope ni Leeuwenhoek is called a simple microscope. Simple kasi ang microscope niya has only one lens. Alright, which is similar to a magnifying glass. So a simple microscope is a microscope with only one lens. And Leeuwenhoek basically opened another world of the microcosm. Okay, so ang microscope niya ay nagbukas ng mundo ng mga maliliit na bagay. Okay, so the microscope that Leeuwenhoek made was handled like this one. Para siyang magnifying glass talaga. He observed a drop of water. And marami siyang nakitang mga gumagalaw in that drop of rainwater. So he called those tiny little things na gumagalaw sa drop of rainwater animalcules. Kasi parang maliliit na hayop, kaya animalcules ang tawag niya. Yan, eto, no? But we now call them as protozoans. Pero sabi ni Leeuwenhoek, gumagalaw na parang hayop, so he called them animalcules. And he also observed different sperm cells from different animals. Alright, that's why Anton van Leeuwenhoek is known in history as the father of microscopy. No, kasi marami siyang discover using his simple microscope. Then came another scientist by the name of Robert Hooke. Right, ito si Robert Hooke. Now, Robert Hooke made an upgrade of the microscope. So, he made a microscope with two lenses. No, two lenses yung kanyang microscope, which we now call as a compound microscope. Alright, a compound microscope is a microscope with two lenses or more. No, yung basic na lenses in a compound microscope are the following. So you have the objective lens, all right, which is close to the specimen, and the eyepiece or the ocular, no, which we look through. Yan, kaya nga ocular lens or eyepiece lens. So Robert Hooke came up with the first working compound microscope. And ang ginawa ni Robert Hooke, he got a thin piece of cork. Lang yung cork, yung parang takip ng mga bote ng alak. No, so he cut a thin slice of cork and he observed it under the microscope. No, he examined a piece of cork and examined it under the microscope. And ito yung nakita niya. You know, he observed structures that look something like this. So drawing pa niya yan. No? Ito yung mga nakita niya. And while he was observing the cork under the microscope, he was reminded of empty rooms. Kaya parang mga maliliit na compartments ito eh. Walang laman yan, no? Parang mga maliliit na compartments. So he was reminded of empty rooms in the monastery. And during that time, empty rooms in the monastery were called cells. Alright? So he was responsible for the word cell, which means empty rooms or empty compartments. So he came up with the term cell. Siya yung nagbigay ng term na cell to describe what he saw under the microscope. The word cell means empty rooms or empty compartments. Okay, then came this guy named Felix Dujardin. Kasi yung nakita ni Robert Hooke, walang laman yun eh. Pero yung kay Felix Dujardin, may laman. There's something inside the cell that is living. Ayan, so he discovered protoplasm. Pero ang tawag niya ay sarcode. But later, it was renamed as protoplasm. So it was Felix Dujardin who discovered protoplasm. Protoplasm is the living substance inside the cell. Then Robert Brown also came into the picture. Robert Brown was a botanist. And he was observing orchids under the microscope. May napansin siya, merong parang bilog na nasa gitna ng cell, which he called the nucleus. So he came up with the term nucleus, which refers to the dense structure that is at the middle of the cell. Yun yung nucleus. Alright, then came another scientist, a German scientist by the name of Matthias Schleiden. Now, Matthias Schleiden, like Robert Brown, was a botanist siya. Si Matthias Schleiden. Okay. Then, he used the microscope to observe different species of plants. So, meron siyang napansin while observing different species of plants under the microscope. So he noticed na lahat ng mga na-obserban niya was made of cells. So he came up with the conclusion, no, that all plants are made of cells. No, sabi ni Matthias Schleiden, that all plants are made of cells. Alright, then came another guy, also a German scientist by the name of Theodor Schwann. Theodor Schwann was a zoologist. Ang gagaling ng mga Germans, di ba? Magagaling ang mga Germans noon. So they were the frontliners in science and technology. So si Theodor Schwann, he used the microscope to study different animal tissues. And again, he came up with the conclusion that all animals are made of cells. So si Schleiden, sabi niya, all plants are made of cells. Si Theodor Schwann, all animals are made of cells. And to complete the picture, another German scientist by the name of Rudolf Virchow came up with the conclusion that all cells came from pre-existing cells through cell division. Sabi niya, nagdi-divide yung mga cells, no, kaya dumadami sila. That all cells came from pre-existing cells. So with that, the conclusions of Schleiden, Schwann, and Virchow, so ang tawag natin ngayon dyan is the so-called cell theory. Pero hindi na to theory, di ba? So according to the cell theory, all living things are made up of one or more cells. Diba? Sabi ni Schleiden, plants are made of cells. Sabi ni Schwann, all animals are made of cells. Alright? So, all living things are made of cells. Since all living things are made of cells, therefore, the cell is the fundamental unit structure of all living organisms. Ayun ang sabi sa cell theory. The cell is the fundamental structure and function in all living organisms. And let us not forget din yung sinabi ni Virchow, that all cells came from pre-existing cells by cell division. Now, we can compare an organism to a house. So, let's compare an organism. Kunyari tayo to, let's compare ourselves to the house. Diba ang house gawa yan sa mga materials like hollow blocks, diba? So a house is made from, hollow blocks, mga bakal, wood. The house is made up mostly of these hollow blocks. So parang tayo, we are made of cells. Ayan, no? So, ito yung nakita ninyo under the microscope. You saw this already. Ito yung onion skin cells, no, under the microscope. So makikita natin dito yung cell wall. Ito yung cell wall niya. You can see also the nucleus. Ito yung nakita ni Robert Brown, yung nucleus. And yung living substance called the protoplasm. But we call this the cytoplasm sa cell. So we have the cell wall. Kasi plant cell ito Cell wall, the nucleus, and the cytoplasm. Ayan. So all organisms are made of cells. Alright, ito din yung onion skin cell. Sakita nyo na to under the microscope. Ito, hindi kita yung nucleus kasi ito yung unstained specimen, di ba? Meron tayong unstained specimen. Then nilagyan natin siya ng iodine, dun yung nakita yung nucleus. Yun ang stained specimen. Ayan, ito yung stained specimen. Yan, di ba? Kulay iodine ito. And makikita nyo yung nucleus, yung gitna, yun ang nucleus niya. Okay, ito yung cell wall and yung cytoplasm. Ito naman, these are your cheek cells. Diba yung cheek cells nilagyan natin ng methylene blue. Kaya tingin yung specimen, color blue, no? Kasi nilagyan natin siya ng methylene blue. And kitang-kita dito yung cell membrane. Ang animal cell, walang cell wall, ha? The cell is surrounded by a membrane. Then ito yung cytoplasm niya and ito yung nucleus, yung gitna. Ayan. Alright, so these are your cheek cells under the microscope. Ayan, ito yung mga cheek cells. Ayan, so you can see here the cell membrane, ito yung cytoplasm, and ito yung nucleus. Ayan, so the specimen was stained with methylene blue. Alright, here is an amoeba. An amoeba is a protozoan. Ayan. Ito yung mga nakita ni Anton van Leeuwenhoek in that single drop of rainwater. So yung tinawag niyang animalcules. Pero we call them now as protozoans. Okay, these are your blood cells under the microscope. So yung pula are the red blood cells or erythrocytes. Yung mga purple colored cells are the white blood cells or leukocytes. Okay, ito naman din sa same mga cheek cells ito. Yan, kitang-kita yung nucleus. And these are the cells of the skin. Ito yung epidermis ng ating skin. And ito naman yung sperm cells. Ayan, okay. Alright guys, this is an ovum. Yan, no, yung or egg cell sa babae. Yan, the egg cell is one of the largest cells in our body. And these are yung mga osteocytes. Those are bone cells or osteocytes. Okay guys, so are all cells microscopic? Well, most of them are microscopic. Except for some, like ito. Hindi lahat ng cells microscopic. Like ito yung ostrich egg. So the ostrich egg, yung itlog ng manok. Yan, mga cells yan. Kasi meron niyang di ba? Yung yolk, yung nucleus, yung white, yung cytoplasm. And meron siyang cell membrane, no, that is beneath the shell. So the egg technically is a cell that can be seen with the naked eye. So hindi lahat ng cells ay microscopic. Ito naman, this is the paramecium. Ayan, no? The paramecium is large enough to be seen with the naked eye. No? Mga 2 millimeters lang yung paramecium. Pero mas maganda kasi ang paramecium pag inobserve yan using the microscope. Alright, the largest cell in the human body is the female egg cell. Ayan. And the smallest cells in our body are the male sperm cells. Ayun, no? Trivia to sa ating lahat. So the largest cell in the human body is the female egg cell. And the smallest cell in our body is the male sperm cell. Okay, there are 2 major types of cells. Alright, so we have prokaryotic cells or prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells or eukaryotes. Now, what's the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes? The difference would be the following. So, if you will notice, this is a bacterial cell. A bacterial cell basically has no nucleus. Ayun, nakikita nyo, wala siyang nucleus. The DNA, ito yung DNA ito. Yan yung parang mga uod-uod na yan. So the DNA is not surrounded by a membrane, unlike ito. Ito yung eukaryotic cell. So yung genetic material niya is surrounded by a nuclear membrane. So may nucleus siya. Ang bacterial cell walang nucleus. The DNA or its genetic material is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. So, prokaryote ang bacterial cell. Ang ito naman, eukaryote kasi may nucleus siya. Alright, and if you will notice also sa bacterial cell, halos walang organelles. I will talk about organelles later. Ang meron lang siya are the ribosomes. But look at this. Ito yung eukaryotic cell. Meron siyang mitochondrion, meron siyang microfilaments, may Golgi complex, may microtubules, diba? May endoplasmic reticulum, may vacuoles. So, kompleto siya ng mga organelles. Ang bacterial cell wala except the ribosomes. So, that's another difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Alright, again, prokaryotes, they don't have any nuclear membrane. Wala silang nucleus. And they don't have membrane-bound organelles. And yung mga prokaryotes are found only in kingdoms Eubacteria and Archaebacteria. Basically, mga bacterial cells. Yan, mga prokaryotes yan. And maliit lang sila. They are about 0.1 microns to 10 microns in size. So, maliliit lang itong mga cells na ito. Ng mga prokaryotes na yan. Alright, while eukaryotes, yan, they have a membrane-bound nucleus, definite membrane-bound nucleus, so may nucleus siya, and they also contain membrane-bound organelles. No, unlike yung prokaryotes, halos ang prokaryotes walang organelles except the ribosomes. Ang eukaryotes, kompleto yan ng organelles. And they are found in kingdoms Protista, then yung mga protozoans, yung mga lumot, algae, kingdom Animalia, tayo yung mga cells natin ay eukaryotic, members of kingdom Fungi, and members of kingdom Plantae. So, except yung bacteria kasi ang bacteria prokaryotes. And ang mga eukaryotic cells, they are large, malalaking cells ito. They are about 10 microns to 100 microns in size. Alright guys, so that's how we differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are primitive, primitive cells. Eukaryotes, they are complex, they are more complex. Prokaryotes, the cells are very small, but eukaryotes, they are bigger than prokaryotes. Ang mga prokaryotes, wala silang nucleus, but eukaryotes, they have a nucleus. Alright, and they have organelles. Ang eukaryotes may organelles. Ang prokaryotes walang organelles. Yan, cytoplasm has a lot of organelles for eukaryotes. Ang prokaryotes naman wala. Alright, so that's how we differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, so let's try to use this Venn diagram. So, ano yung differences nila and ano yung common sa kanilang dalawa? Alright, so again, prokaryotes, walang nucleus. They have no nucleus. They have no organelles. Ang eukaryotes may nucleus and meron silang membrane-bound organelles. So ano yung common sa kanilang dalawa? So meron silang ribosomes, may cytoplasm, may cell membrane, may cell wall. Pero ang prokaryotes walang nucleus, ang eukaryotes meron. Ang prokaryotes walang organelles, pero ang eukaryotes with membrane-bound organelles. Okay, so that's how we differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Alright, so what are the major structures found in animal and plant cells? So there are two major types of eukaryotic cells. So we have the plant cell and the animal cell. Alright guys, so everybody kindly take a look at the illustration of a typical animal cell and that of a typical plant cell. Alright, so for one, ang plant cell may chloroplast. Diba? May chloroplast ang plant cell. Ang animal cell, walang chloroplast. Diba? Then, both animal and plant cell may vacuole. Kaya lang, ang vacuole ng plant cell ay medyo malaki. Ang vacuole ng animal cell maliit lang, but we call it a vesicle. Alright? Kasi ang vacuole ng plant cell contains water and water is essential for photosynthesis. Alright? Ang chloroplast is the site for photosynthesis. Ang animal cell, walang chloroplast, so they cannot photosynthesize. And if you will notice, ang plant cell may cell wall. Ang animal cell walang cell wall. Diba? The animal cell is surrounded by a membrane and ang plant cell is surrounded by a cell wall made of cellulose. For one, ang plant cell may definite shape siya. Ang animal cell, yung shape niya will depend on the function. So, how do we study cells? So, we study cells using the microscope. Alam natin yan, no? Most cells can be seen and observed using the microscope. Yan kagaya nitong ginawa natin, di ba? If you will recall. Okay, so we can observe cells under the microscope, yung optical, but there are also microscopes like the electron microscope. If you will look at this illustration, this is an electron microscope. And using the electron microscope, we can observe the ultrastructure, yung mga kalit-liitan ng